You're tuned into Any1FM and you listen to The Issues with Ben and Deage. So, Deage, would you like to explain what the show's all about today?
Yes, good morning. This is The Issues with Ben Deage. The show where we don't really tackle sort of real issues, sort of politics, economics, religion, or anything like that.
No.
God, we just tackle the irrelevant issues, the sort of real man issues, such as, you know, why do pandas have black eyes, and why do cats hate dogs, and
why is Black Beauty ugly?
Exactly, Ben.
I hate horses. I hate horses at the best of times. I know it's probably not the best time to mention it with the Grand National just being on.
Yeah.
But
is the all-fair part of the Grand National when the horses get put down? So
no, I mean, I don't get it wrong. I do hate horses, but I'm not that cruel. But no, I'm not. You're really painting us as a horrible man. You're half right. You're half right. I do hate horses. It's just they're so ugly. They're just really ugly looking creatures. Yeah. It's their legs. They freak us out. The worst one was I think I was. It was a very rare occasion. This doesn't sound like me at all, but I was walking around like a country park. I think it's called the Rising Sun in Wallsend, and there was a woman walking along with a horse, and basically she couldn't control the horse. Like the horse was taking her for a walk, basically, and we were walking down this like gravelly path, like me and my friends, and the horse just like meandered off to the side. Basically, was standing sideways across the path and just started eating some grass. And my friends were like, well, we're going to have to walk past the horse. And I was like freaking out, like, I'm not walking behind a horse. That horse will kick me in the face.
It's funny you should say that, because I was walking to work the other day, and just over sort of the underpass, there's like obviously a road goes along top of it.
Yeah.
And he has like a clip clopping, obviously sort of the horse's things. And a horse and carriage goes past, right? Obviously followed by about 16 cars, all filled with infuriated motorists.
Yeah, I've done it myself. I've driven behind a car.
But I thought, obviously it's going to be some sort of carriage driver in the front.
Yeah.
No, two chavvy lads wearing like...
Yeah, that's what as you say all the time, like down the bottom of walls. it's like they're like gypsy lads, you know what I mean? Your first car's a horse called Dave.
Should we crack on with the first issue, get the creative juices flowing?
Let's.
Okay, first issue of the day. Who would make the greatest Prime Minister?
Homer Simpson.
Straight off the bat.
Who wouldn't want him? Like, he's so laid back, you know what I mean? Like, and he's such an interesting person to have as like a Prime Minister. His policies would be great, like, you know, less work, more holidays, free donuts for everyone.
Obviously, yeah, that's all. Well, I was thinking maybe just Chuck Norris, just straight off the bat, you know.
Chuck Norris. Yeah, that would be brilliant.
You know, Chuck Norris would just sort any issue out.
I don't think. I think crime would just stop, just with pictures of Chuck Norris up. Don't do crime; he will find you. Because
obviously Chuck Norris doesn't. Underneath Chuck Norris's beard is not his chin; it's just another fist.
Another fist. Yeah, that is a brilliant website. Actually, speaking of websites, we are only available online today. So if you're listening, you will no doubt be listening online. Apologies for that. The FM transmission is currently down. But just remember that you can email the show, which is if you're on the website, you just go and contact the studio and then wing an email. You can also text the show by starting your message with the letters NE and the number 1, so Any1 plus your message is 60300.
Obviously, if anyone wants to write with the world's greatest Prime Minister, you're wrong, because basically it's Morgan Freeman.
You're so in love with Morgan Freeman's voice. It's like uncanny, isn't it?
It's because Morgan Freeman could give any policy, any issue, and everyone would just agree automatically. He could just.
If anyone could get away with saying his favourite part of the Grand National was the horses being put down, it's Morgan Freeman.
Ever since I was a little boy, I just like seeing horses being put down.
Like, oh, Morgan, you're so cute. Yeah. I wish you were my granddad.
Shall we have a song?
Yes,
kick
let's.
the morning off. Okay, this is Undercover Martin by Two Door Cinema Club. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Kev.
You're back with The Issues on Any1FM with me, Ben Messenger, and co-host Deage Paxton.
Hello.
We were originally going to do a show about big band music, but we couldn't fit the whole band in the studio.
Wait, to be fair, Frank Sinatra's dead now, so what's the point?
Yeah, that's... Apologies for anyone who's just found that out. But you're pretty late at the party.
I think there's one 80-year-old guy who's just went, what? So back into the world's greatest Prime Minister stuff, because I don't think we've exhausted this topic by any stretch of the
for me, I mean, it's like it's not so much who would be greatest, but for people who would be really well suited. Like I think Piers Morgan is odious enough to pull off the job. You know what I mean? He if anyone's suited to like most hated man in Britain, it's probably that guy.
That's the thing, yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of Ricky Gervais. Because I love Ricky Gervais. I think he's like got his head screwed on right. A lot of people don't agree, but you know, I think it would be great because we'd lose words like atheism, because that word shouldn't exist. It shouldn't exist. And you know, like I think like a lot of religious studies would become, you know, less mandatory.
That's the thing, yeah.
Certainly be more optional.
I used to love religious studies at school. Actually, it was just the prime sort of opportunity to argue with the teachers.
Yeah.
They'd say something, I go, yeah, well, prove it, and then they'd get. I got told I was a Christian in school.
You got told.
Yeah, because I acted like a Christian, and I went, but I don't believe in God. He went, oh, that's irrelevant.
I'm pretty sure that's the biggie. That's like the one that matters.
That's the kind of the like at least a Christian has to believe in God.
I got kicked out of RE once. It was called RE back in my day, religious education. It's RS now. I'm led to believe. But yeah, like I got kicked out once because there was a wrestler called Jesus, and I said, well, surely, how do you know that Jesus isn't called Jesus? And my teacher was just like really adamant. It's like, no, it's Jesus. It's written as Jesus. But there's no one alive now to
prove it.
Yeah. But I got kicked out of the lesson. So I hate Ori.
Well, back on the Prime Minister thing, if we're not going for greatest Prime Minister, but most entertaining, I would love to see Mr. Bean behind that desk.
Just never actually speaking? Like, what, your policies?
Teddy.
Yeah, that would be brilliant.
I think that would be far more entertaining than watching David Cameron sort of
struggle to be likeable.
Yeah. Try and be relatable. I think that's probably the closest we'll actually come to an issue on the show.
That's about as real as it gets.
I think we should probably move on to the next topic before we actually get so serious. The greatest guest to have on the Jerry McKyle Show.
The wonderful Jerry McKyle Show.
Yeah.
For those unaware, the Jerry McKyle Show is a show where a guy called Jeremy Kyle sits on his high horse and judges simple people when they have like weird...
Pretty much.
Sometimes into family relationships.
Which is why I personally believe that Darth Vader would make a great guest. You know, there's a lot going on in the Vader family.
Luke, the DNA results are back, and he is your father. No!
And Luke's sitting there thinking, dude, I was raised by a little green dwarf. What's going on here?
Like looking at Papa? I mean, I know he's dead, but still.
I would love just to see one day if it backfire on Jeremy Kyle and see his wife come on.
Oh,
that would be fantastic.
I mean, that's the thing is, he sits there and he judges all these people, but like he had like a gambling addiction and like didn't he cheat on his wife? It's just like
that's exactly why I want some of
pot kettle.
I want to see him parade them morons out in front of him, and then so all of a sudden the show just changes and he has to sit down.
I'm
and be
just
judged.
waiting for the one who looks like a moron, but he's actually quite switched on and just like has like brilliant rebuttals for everything he's got to say.
That'd be amazing.
Just that one day that Jeremy Kyle gets on. I mean, I'd like to see the Addams Family on.
Yeah, that would be great, you know.
That would just be brilliant, you know, just like Cousinet's been getting it on with Wednesday, you know what I mean? I mean, he's just pregnant and he's denying it. Thing's a bit like Mr. Bean, isn't he? He doesn't actually talk, he just makes noises. He's just like, why have you got to say that thing?
He's essentially Chewbacca.
He is. He's Chewbacca who's been combed.
You know what, I would settle for just someone who's not a scumbag, just to be on the show, because they never dress up, do they? They always come on with some sort of Nike Air Max variation on thing. Which is why, before the show, I took the liberty of writing down some of my favourite titles that I've seen on the show, and I just want to sort of hear your opinion on them.
Oh, brilliant.
Just to kick it off, just to kind of get what the feel of the Jeremy Kyle Show is. Mum, did you choose my abuser over me? That's the headline. You know what I mean?
Well, he was a wrong 'un, but he was handsome.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Like, what?
This is a personal favourite. My daughter disowned me. Today I find out if I'm even her dad. Imagine getting disowned and then finding out that you weren't the father in the first place.
Well, to be fair, it's like having the last laugh, isn't it? It's like, well, actually, at the end of the day,
I screwed up, but okay.
See you later.
This is one where you don't really see it coming until it's on your face. It says, except that I left you. ... I'm with a 17-year-old now.
Why is the age relevant though? Yeah. Except that I've left you, I've moved on to kids.
Yeah, that's the thing.
What? If anything, that doesn't that make it easier to accept?
I think this one epitomises the Jeremy Kyle Show.
Yeah.
My husband slept with my daughter, right? And then it follows with lie detector results. Now, I would argue if you have to do a lie detector results, whether your husband slept with your daughter, it's not worth it.
That's the least of your worries.
If you've got any doubt, then that's not okay.
I didn't sleep with her, it was just sex. We didn't cuddle afterward. I'm not an animal.
This is one that's pretty close to my home, and I swear to God all these are real. Hounded out of 3 homes for being ginger.
So that wasn't Jeremy Kyle, that's just your life, isn't it?
For some reason I related strongly with it. You know?
You just turned on, you were like, oh my God.
someone's going through what I'm going
It's
through.
my day.
Now, this is my personal favourite that I would just like to sort of end on before we go to a song.
Yeah.
You know? Is my cousin my sister? Okay. This
No
is
comment.
This is Blink 182 with a rock show. Enjoy.
You're back with the issues on Anyone FM with me, Ben Messenger, and co-host Deage Paxton. Just remember that you can email the show, which is by going on the website www.anyoneFM.net and clicking on Contact the Studio and sending me an email. We'd love to hear from you. You can also text the show by starting your message with the letters NE and the number 1 to 60300.
Certainly can. Next issue of the day, Ben.
Yes. Why is business wear considered, smart? Like, what are better alternatives?
I know this is a subject close to your heart, so
It is.
would you like to kick off?
Well, for me, it's just like nobody likes wearing ties, like unless you're in like bondage or something like that. But there's just nothing fun about them, is there? Unless you've got like one of those clown ones that like roll up, or like a spinning bow tie. There's not enough of them going around.
The proof that nobody actually likes wearing ties is the fact that every time someone gets drunk, if they're wearing a tie, straight on the head.
The proof that no one likes ties is no one can tie them.
That's the thing.
Like just about everyone I know is just like, "Mom, come and do me tie." Like you can tie them, like you can literally tie them, but you can't tie them so they look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can tie a tie, but it always looks rubbish.
I remember when we were sort of in middle school and we all had to wear ties.
Yeah.
But everyone found alternatives because some people just didn't know how to do it, so they ended up just tying a knot and going,
I don't know why, but in like my school, like all the girls especially like thought it was really cool to have like really short ties, and it looked really stupid. But apparently that was even at the time I was just like, yeah, that's right, ladies, looking good, but it's just not good. But no, that like my point is like I'd like to replace it with like more comfortable wear, because who cares about smart? It should be like, I suppose you could get like a business onesie, like a onesie that looks like a suit because like comfortable and smart.
Would it have a butt flap?
It would definitely have a butt flap.
That's the
when
main
nature
issue.
calls, you need a butt flap.
I think if you just going for comfort, just nuding up, birthday suit, baby, yeah. Because I think if you're wearing a tie and you're nude, it accentuates how nude you actually are. A person who's nude wearing a tie looks more nude than a nude person.
There's definitely something more comical about it. If anything, you're less sinister if you're just wearing a tie nude. Because if someone just comes up at you nude, you don't know, is this man crazy? Is he trying to assault us? If he's wearing a tie, he's like, oh, he's a character. That crazy guy with the tie on and nothing else.
It's that thing I think certain men do like wearing suits and stuff like that, but it's that thing when as soon as a man puts a tuxedo on, he immediately thinks he's James Bond.
Yeah. The second you put a tuxedo on, it's like, take a picture of me pretending to hold a gun.
Yeah.
Do it right now.
And you
start drinking martini.
Yeah, you find
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shaking, not stirred. It must be rubbish to be like a barman, like doing like a fancy night where everyone's dressed as tuxedos and all the guys go, have a martini, please.
That's the thing. If you know why is it considered formal wear? You know, some of the greatest people in history have never wore things like Jesus.
One of those things.
Jesus never wore a tux. He got a whole lot of followers. He got he got a lot of stuff done.
If Jesus was on Twitter, you know what I mean, he'd have won. You have won the internet. No, like I agree though with like it's one of those things. It depends how existential you want to get. I mean, like there's a lot of arbitrary rules in place in our world, such as pants.
There's that crossover at the minute. A lot of sort of comedians and stuff wear like a blazer, which is quite smart, but then wear like a novelty T-shirt underneath. So it's kind of like, how smart I am. Oh, look how funny my T-shirt.
Yeah, the kind of I'm from Busted and nobody likes me look.
I used to wear novelty T-shirts all the time. It's, like really offensive ones because I just love them. Like I had one that said, "I don't have Tourette's, you're just which is fantastic. Like my favourite T-shirt of all time.
Not gonna lie, is every time I see someone with one of those T-shirts, I think, oh, they're making up for a severe lack of personality.
Well, I had one that said, I still do actually. It says Ginger Appreciation Society. Remember?
See, that'll allow.
Yeah,
because the only time you're ever going to see someone with a T-shirt that says "I appreciate ginger."
You've got a bit of a vendetta against sort of T-shirts, don't you?
I don't like novelty slogan T-shirts. I think most of the slogans are quite offensive to women. Not that I'm some sort of massive feminist, you know what I mean? But I just don't think they're ever going to help you pull. For example, on a night out, you're not going to pull wearing one of those T-shirts.
Yeah. Would you like to move on to the next issue?
Yes, very much so.
This is one that's pretty close to my heart, actually. What would be the biggest advantage or best advantage of having a robot?
I mean, I'm glad this is your big one, because the only thing I can really think of is it'll be good for like doing the mundane tasks, like my job, while I sit at home in pants. Pantsless.
If you had a robot, what would you call it?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, do you have to name it?
Well, I've already thought about this in depth, and it would definitely be Gizmo.
You have thought about this and I'd say the little smirk that came across your face when you started this one. Oh, robots, I love them.
I mean, I would just love to sit back and watch Sarah Connor kill them all.
I was going to say that. I was going to say my other advantage was just tell them how easy it is to like kill John Connor. Just be like, go back to when he was a baby, yeah,
and then
just shoot him in the pram. Shorter film.
I mean, I think the best thing about having a robot is just for me and you is we're guaranteed to have a friend. You know?
True. Come and hold me, Gizmo.
I think
robot spoon.
But you know for a fact that eventually it would develop into. You'd say some idiot in Heat's in, oh, I married a robot or something, and then
Jeremy Kyle, isn't
and
it?
then there'd be loads.
My robot cheated on me,
and there'd be cheated on me with a toaster or something. But it's just like eventually there'd just be loads of prejudice and people going, oh, look at that, that's a robosexual, you know. Should I have
that's probably the greatest term ever, robosexual.
Robosexual. Should we have a song? Right, brilliant.
The issues where we are as clever as we are professional.
Yeah, we've got about like a dozen emails in there. You've left the mics on.
So I would just like to apologise in advance if we swore, because we have a tendency to do that quite a lot.
If anyone heard me there, by the way, I was going, I need a wee, because that's the kind of thing me and Ben talk about when the mics are off. I mean, I hope you enjoyed sort of
it was
talking
mostly,
over a track.
It was mostly inane banter about weird emails we received from some guy called Matt, saying he made an absolutely terrible joke, which I'm kind of impressed that he's had the mindset to think of such a joke, but it's also one of those jokes I've heard so many times that anyone who says it, I want to punch him directly in the throat. And it's, is it true Ben was once in a hostage situation but got out of trouble as he knew they would never shoot the messenger?
Good.
That's because my surname is Messenger.
I actually respect him less than I respect myself right now for leaving the mics on. You know, that's
yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong, we left the mics on, but you get what you pay for. And,
so free.
I woke up this morning for this. We've got another one saying Ben is a robot. But yes, I've got no rebuttal to that. Maybe there's only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Am I just asking Matt to kill us? I don't. That's a bit weird. What else has he said? He's
a pretty advanced robot. He's the only robot I know who actually has a beard.
We've received an email from your mum saying, "Did you love a bow tie?" Unless you were just going through a Doctor Who stage. Would you like to tell them more about the Doctor Who stage?
There wasn't a Doctor Who stage.
There was, wasn't it?
There wasn't. It was not a Doctor Who stage. All right, I'll throw this out. For my 18th birthday, I got suited up, right? And I wore a bow tie because, let's face it, bow ties are cool, right?
Like a boss.
And a friend of mine called Lizzie, who's got a massive Doctor Who obsession.
Yeah, she loves Doctor Who.
Pointed out that I've looked a bit like the guy from... I look remotely dressed like the guy from Doctor Who. And
you don't look like him so much as in you're both weird looking.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Thanks. but as soon as you said it, it sort of stuck. Don't get us wrong, Doctor Who's quite the show. But if I can't master a microphone, I can definitely not master a TARDIS.
There's a part of that word which would kind of describe our radio skills.
I think when it comes to sort of the podcast, we'll just edit it.
Yeah,
it's all done.
Pretend it never happened.
Yeah,
smooth.
Yeah. Shall we move on to an issue?
Yes, we should.
I think it's a good issue. It was suggested by someone where we work.
It's suggested by Nick because he wanted a shout out.
Oh,
so hello Nick, and thanks for the issue, which is what would you do if you had a clone of yourself?
Right, I think you should dive into the thing that we heard at work.
Yeah, we're talking about this at work, saying like someone asked us what issues we're doing this week. And Nick had suggested this one. We said, we're doing this issue. What would you do if you had a clone of yourself? And a girl called Amanda, who is she's like, I don't know how to describe her, a midget. She's pretty small. And her immediate response to having a clone of herself was, fight crime. I'll fight crime. As if the only thing holding her back was that she didn't have another version of herself.
I like the fact that it's like she's got an Amanda mobile kind of waiting. But I obviously can't fight crime because I've got 2 seats.
Yeah, I like the idea of just getting that clone and then on her shoulders, and then she's almost like a full-size person. And then she's like, now I can fight crime because obviously I'm good at handling myself. I've got a mansion and lots of money to buy gadgets.
How about yourself? What would you do if you could clone yourself?
Just the obvious stuff like sending it to work while I sleep. All of mine revolve around helping me be more lazy.
Yeah,
I would make it do all of the rubbish stuff, and I would just live like a fat slob, and I would love every second of it. I mean, what would you do if you could clone yourself?
Well, you know me, I like messing with people, so I like the idea of being able to be mid conversation with someone and then get my clone to ring them.
Yeah. What?
That'd be great.
That's brilliant.
Oh, do you remember that sort of the Charlie Chaplin sketch where, you know, the guy sees another guy and they copy each other and he thinks it's the mirror?
Yeah.
I would love to reenact that. I think
Yeah.
that'd be absolutely amazing.
I like the idea of messing up with people, like you say, calling them and just being like, that's not the real Deage. It's an imposter. Saying how awkward people become, you know what I mean?
It'd be absolutely amazing. But I think we'll say that we do all this stuff, but in reality, we both know all we do is spend all the time making really bad puns. You know, just like
that's all we do anyway.
I'd be on the Xbox with my clone and just go, "Mom, I'm playing with myself." You know, it's that sort of thing. You know, it's that.
You know, it's not big and it's not clever, but it is funny.
You know, but that's the only thing I could really think of I would do. You know.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing to do with a clone, is make terrible puns.
Should we have a song or an issue or?
I think we should have another song.
Oh, brilliant. This is another 2 Doors Summer Club because we've got a bit of...
You're in Anyone FM with The Issues with Ben and Deage. Just remember you can email the show by going on the website, which is www.anyoneFM.net, and clicking on Contact the Studio and send them an email. Something along the lines of, "You've left your mics on, idiots."
Yeah.
You can also text the show by starting your text with the letters NE and the number 1, so anyone plus your message to 60300.
We do realise we left the mics on before. We do realise that...
But no, thank you for about the 20 emails we got, because that's probably like the most we've ever had. So it was,
people just like seeing
I was like, God, how popular have we become during this break? Oh no, we're idiots.
The fact that we have more technical difficulties than Stephen Hawking's falling into a pool. Yes. So let's crack on. Next issue of the day is quite a serious one, but it's not the sort of thing that you'd expect. The best way to solve the homeless problem, and we're not talking really, obviously there's been the issues.
This is the issues. We don't actually deal with the actual problem,
the
literal
problem.
problem. Yeah.
It depends how you define sort of the
I
problem.
mean, I think the best way to solve it would be to get a sponsorship deal with the body shop, you know, and just like have really clean tramps, because I'd be more inclined to give them change, you know, if they smell like, you know, if they didn't smell like
coming off
disappointment.
about the sponsorship thing, people are always wanting advertising. Tramps are pretty much walking signs. If you dressed up in Adidas or like just a billboard to let them walk around, that's a great way to make money.
Yeah. Adidas, you can have that one for free. What I would like to do is, I'd like to make a magazine about us, you know, and get the homeless to sell it on the streets for everyone. You know, they could sell it for £1 and get a cut. Would
it be quite big, or
it would be quite a good magazine. You know, we'll call it The Big Issues. And then we'll get them to sell that.
Oh, we're all saw it coming, but that's fantastic. Personally, I think obviously there's main 2 issues is the fact that they don't have a lot of money and they look like they're not very appealing on streets.
Don't get us wrong, I do love a tramp beard. Sometimes I think that is a good beard, so well played.
But obviously, if some people don't find them visually attractive, so I was thinking we'll pay them to dress up like statues, right? Or street performances, you know, like if you trained a tramp in the art of mime, right? Because
you can only throw pounds at a tramp, make them dance for so long before you get bored.
The best thing about that as well is they could live in an imaginary box. And for everyone who couldn't, well, obviously nobody could see that actually mimed box there for them.
Yeah, you did, which was worrying.
Because there are some sort of legendary tramps around, sort of Newcastle.
Yeah, there's some great ones like
Jimmy, the Newcastle tramp. there's a Facebook page with Jimmy. I think it's got something like 2,000 likes. I mean,
there's a guy up my way. It's like Long Benton Way, and everyone knows that he's got this really big house, but he just walks around. Like he walks everywhere just carrying a bag, you know.
I think that Jimmy the Tramp, you know, he's a bit of a legend now. And I saw him on the train. He's got this sort. You probably have seen him. You probably won't like know his name or anything. But
I don't get trains. I don't get metros.
He smells like a bag of dead cats. But he's got this like.
Why do you know what that smells like?
This he's got this tattered jacket, and I saw him on the metro once, and I was just thinking, you know, where is he going? Like,
yeah, what's his stop?
Yeah, well, I'll just leave me where I lie. That's it.
It's just a warm sleep.
And so obviously some people have taken this to new levels. There's this thing in America called bum fights.
Yeah, I'm aware of bum fights.
Bum fights is essentially they got
We need to clear up that by bum fights. It's in America, that's what they call a tramp. It's not when people are like backing into each other like, on guard. Because that would just be silly.
But we're not condoning this at all, but some people paid tramps to fight and stuff, and it kind of escalated to the point where one of the tramps got bum fights tattooed across his face, which is a horrible thing. But
yeah, it was exploitation and it was awkward, but it was
pretty
funny. It was pretty funny at the same time. We've actually got a message off Steve. Just because like a few weeks ago he messaged the show quite a lot, and we're just for random reasons we just kept going Steve, and that's all he said. He's like, "Hey guys, it's Steve." So hey Steve.
Hey Steve.
Thanks for the message.
My favourite thing about the best homeless story I ever heard was the Ballatolly thing. I think we've covered this in one of the other shows, but he got like a group of homeless people and put them up in like the plaza. God, man, I just love that.
Don't they do that? Well, we played the song before, Blink-182's The Rock Show. Don't they do that in the video where they give like they're wandering around with the money for the video and they're just giving it out to people?
Coincidence or measured?
Yeah, exactly.
Shall I have another?
You're tuning to The Issues on Any 1FM, where Deage is playing the next song like the hero that he is. Today is it's a super smooth Thursday. You know, where we leave the mic on during the songs, we start playing the next songs during the tracks.
That's what we do. It's called a teaser, Ben.
Yeah. I think the main issue is why I'm doing it with you.
In fact, if anyone can guess the song from that first 2 seconds,
you win nothing.
you win all respect for listening.
Which, if the past hours anything to go by, isn't worth much.
I think for the technical difficulties, we should put some effort into the next issue.
Okay, let's crack on. What is my next issue?
What is the single worst picture you could upload to Facebook or Twitter?
Any pictures of your girlfriend's past or present naked. I hate that.
I saw why you did that, actually. It just as revenge, though.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's probably one of the worst things you could do.
I think some girls, you know, they post themselves in sort of provocative pictures and stuff, and then get quite angry when people like them. It's just sort of like, you know what I'm doing.
Why do so many women do pictures where it's like they're taking the picture with their phone, like in a mirror, doing a little pose, and then they go, "Oh God, it got 20 likes because there's so many creeps." It's like, well, you just took a picture yourself in your bedroom wearing clothes that looks like it was like licked on by panthers. It's like that close to the skin, you know what I mean? Just like you fool no one.
I think this is inarguably. I've given this some thought. Considering the technical difficulties, I'm just gonna go for it. The single worst picture that you can post on Facebook, and I will argue to death this is it, is you punching a baby.
I mean, in the same vein, I would say I hate it when people put pictures of their kids on, because, like, I know you're proud of your kids, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's brilliant. You've got kids, but like, nobody cares. Yeah.
you know when people post like pictures of themselves when they're younger.
Yeah.
I saw one the other day, and it reminded us of this comedian called Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah.
And it's a joke he does. He goes, somebody showed me a picture of themselves saying, "Oh, this is me when I was younger." Well, every picture of you is a picture of you younger.
That's brilliant.
I think people always post themselves looking absolutely mortal or off the face or something like that, you know. And that's a stupid thing because you're always mid-gain or mid.
I know from first-hand experience. I mean, I would say 90% of the pictures I'm tagged in are probably pictures of me out my mind. It's one of those things where it's just like you don't have any choice in the matter, do you? You come back and it's like 20 pictures, but people have already seen those pictures. So even when you're untagging them, you know, at least like half your friends have seen you like on the pavement, like, you know, kissing somebody else's kebab. That's not euphemism. I mean, there was just kebab on the ground and I was kissing. You know, just stuff like that. You know, it's one of those things. You can't win them all, I suppose.
Yeah. I think I was trying to think. Obviously, when this issue arose, I was trying to think what would really be sort of the worst issues. I mean, punching a baby is hard to sort of beat, but I think progressional pictures. You know, when you see things that have sort of developed over time. But
like
but what if you took a picture of every bowel movement? Right?
Why would you do that?
But people have done this. I've had a friend of mine who sent me a picture of said bowel movement, and just simply said, "Look at this, how impressive!"
Yeah, I knew a guy like one of my older jobs, like who was like fascinated with it. That was like his thing. He would send pictures to people and put statuses about it. but it's just like I never got it. You know what I mean? It was just
You would never catch a girl being impressed by that. Or
No.
A girl would never do it, because men are just different. Just like,
But then again, no, it depends. Like I'm not impressed by it. I don't know. It's just like brilliant.
Well, sometimes I do weigh myself before and after. Just you know.
I can picture that. That's pretty nasty.
Should we have a song, Ben?
Yeah, let's.
This is the song that you heard at the beginning of before. So, from the teaser, this is Pelican by the Maccabees.
You're tuned into 102.5 Anyone FM with the issues with Ben and Deage. This is your last chance to email in by going on the website, clicking on Contact tab and contacting the studio, or you can also text in. I think that ship is
people only
sailed.
really want to right, and if something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, yous have made a mistake, yous are idiots. Oh, I'll write in about that. Brilliant, now's my chance to strike.
Yeah. like we don't know.
So should we crack on with what next issue?
I quite like this one. What is the most pointless human, sport, or job?
What would you say the most pointless human is, indeed?
I think it's undoubtedly Katie Price. I mean,
Jordan, yeah.
Yeah,
Katie Price. Jesus, what is her purpose? Especially these days. Like, what does she even do these days?
She's one of them people that's just famous for being famous. You know, it's sort of. I mean, everyone goes, "Oh, she used to be a model." Yeah, but it's not what she's famous for now. You know,
no,
she's famous for
being
the ridiculous drama. I just can't wait for her to disappear.
But that's the politest way you could put it as well. I can't wait for her to disappear.
All right, we'll put it bluntly. I can't wait for her to be deceased. I want her to be gone, because she plagues everything. She's like, she is a plague.
Hope no hitmen are listening. I really hope no hitmen are listening.
I'm not going to put out like a radio prize for it or anything, but
no.
Yeah, you will win our respect.
Yeah, we've already established that isn't worth much, but still.
I mean, before I think we should get off the homicidal topic. Because,
yeah, we should. Yeah, like
because she just rails everything about us. And she has a tendency to sue people. So
yeah, I don't think anyone's listening to this show,
especially not Katie Price.
Especially,
she's probably off doing something pointless. Most pointless sport.
Most pointless sport for me, it's got to be pole vaulting.
There's no real life application for that.
How do you get into that? Like, what happens? Are you just like locked out your like back garden? All you've got is a broom. I'm gonna take a run up and see what happens. It's just it's like how pretty much anything you can think of, like at least someone who's a friend of a friend who does it.
Yeah.
Nobody knows any pole vaulters. Someone's gonna email in right now and go, I know several. I know that, but that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, I can't think of, because obviously if you can run really fast, they've got real life applications for that. Like,
is
you
it one
can
of those
catch a
things
bus.
where it's like you're not good at like
anything?
You're fast, but you're not that fast, so you cannot run with the proper runners.
Which brings me to my favorite pointless sport, which is power walking. Now, power walking is, for those of you who don't know, it's people who try to walk really fast, and there's the most ridiculous rules to it, and it makes you look like an idiot.
If I ever had to do exercise, I'd probably choose power walking.
I mean, it's one of the things that when someone's doing it, I don't know if anyone's actually seen anyone power walk before, but it looks like, do you know when you've got an itch right in the middle of your bum? And you can't scratch it.
You're trying to do it without your hands.
Yeah, that's exactly what power walking is.
Yeah, I think calling it freehand bum scratching though is like it's a bit longer.
Freehand bum scratching. Yeah. I would watch that though.
You would watch it, but like in a creepy way.
I mean, I don't want to sort of offend people with this, because blind football. I don't know if you've seen this. Right. It's quite remarkable. What they do is.
So what you did there. I don't know if you've seen this.
Easy now. They get a ball, and it's got like a noise thing in it, so it makes noise so players know where it is. It's quite remarkable when you watch it.
Right.
But some of the rules are really daft. Like the first rule of blind football is you're not allowed to talk. All right. The first rule of blind football is they all have to wear blindfolds. Now, I would argue there's a bit of an inaccuracy in these rules. Like, are they saying that most blind people are liars? I don't want to sort of speculate that, but that's pretty much what I've gathered from it.
Blindfold. I've never seen it. I really want to watch it because it's just a bunch of people running around a pitch into each other and tripping over. It's
like five-a-side, but it's quite remarkable when you sit and watch it. But I just remember watching it going, well, this is brilliant. This is pretty amazing.
Is the reason to wear blindfold so that it's fair, so that people who aren't blind can still play it? Is that the reason?
No, they're all blind.
They're all definitely blind.
Yeah, I think it's in the Paralympics or something like that. But they're all wear blind. That's ridiculous.
That is pretty ridiculous.
Fair
enough. That is very strange. Shall we crack on with our next one? Because we're running very quickly out of time.
I just want to bring this up. The most pointless job, just because.
Yeah.
Obviously, we haven't really tackled that one. Was I saw a guy the other day, and he was holding a sign that said like, "This way to pub, £5 for a meal," or something.
I've seen those, like on Newcastle High Street.
I thought, essentially, he's doing a job that's got the same qualifications as a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
How bad is it life, really?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that I can't really think of many pointless jobs because most are, but that is brilliant. Like those guys, sometimes I've seen one sitting down holding it, like he's just sitting on a chair holding a sign. The thing is, who's saying that sign going, oh, brilliant, that classy guy holding the pole, that's a venue I want to go to. That's where I want my dinner.
Should we do another issue?
Yes.
Because we're rapidly running out of time. How about, if aliens invaded, what would they think? I mean, there was this comedian that brought up this thing, I forgot who it was, but if an alien came down tomorrow and saw a man picking up dog poo, who would they think would be in charge?
Yeah. I think they'd be thoroughly unimpressed. I mean, like, for example, I mean, they're not. I think when people assume they're landing, they're just going to go straight to our world leaders.
But it's
just what happened is they'd end up in some estate and bike, and they'd be like, "Is this it? Is this life?"
That's exactly the thing I was saying. It was there's certain people you wouldn't want to meet. They get the wrong idea. Like if you give them the cast of Geordie Shore or something, they didn't know. You know, it's great. Let's head back to Glaxcon 9.
Glaxcon 9. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean in that regard. I mean, like, what would you think if you met the cast of Geordie Shore? They are just so terrible, such odious humans.
The first thing I would do is just go look at this iPod and blow their mind.
God, you can listen to it on shuffle.
Yeah, it's all well and good. You've got a spaceship, but this is
probably the only thing. That's the only thing that is worth mentioning. That our alien technology is the iPhone, and that's it.
Exactly what it is.
It's probably reverse engineered from like Area 51 and the crash. That's all we've got.
Steve Jobs was in fact an alien.
Yeah, he hasn't died. He's went back to his home planet.
Yeah, that's
Glaxcon 9.
Glaxcon 9. And if anyone's actually been at Glaxcon 9,
it's quite the journey.
Yeah, well, just remember to email the show and tell us what's like, you know. Honestly, I think they'd probably think we're a bit of douchebag just for sort of destroying the planet. You know, they'll probably just look down and go, "Why the polar bear's brown? Why is that happening?
What have you done?" We've actually received an email from one of our colleagues who's just named himself the Boss, which is our supervisor Nick. He's just said, "Thanks for getting me out of the bed, getting out of bed this morning, and keep me entertained. Appreciate the shout out. So thanks for that, Nick."
Yeah.
And on that note, I think that's about it for this week's show.
It's been emotional.
It's been emotional. Yeah. Thanks a lot for all our listeners.
Yeah.
And we will be back very soon.
If anyone's can sort of email in next time, that's not a mistake. That'll be, you know.
Yeah. No, that's funny. If we make more mistakes, which is very likely, feel free to jump on the bandwagon.
Have you got any plugs at the minute, Ben?
I don't really. I mean, the next gig isn't until like Sunday in Liverpool. I can't imagine there's many Liverpudlians listening.
I don't know. I can't really think of any sort of gigs we've got.
Exactly. So
we'll hope to see you next time. We'll try and get this podcast up. I would really appreciate it if you like the page on Facebook. Try to find one.
Yeah, if you just search the issues with Ben and Deage, you should find one. Looking like creeps, smiling.
It's possibly the worst picture of me I've ever seen in my life. But
like all pictures of Deage.
Why whisper it? Alright, okay, we'll play out with Cousins by Vampire Weekend. Good song. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time.